Hello, everyone, and welcome to Play Some Video Games, the only gaming podcast capable of having over 400 flying monkeys on screen at the same time. And if you don't understand that reference, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Just turn off the podcast now. Go listen to something else. Go ahead. Oh, wait. Go ahead. Go. No, you too. Anyway, it is I, your host, Kevin. With us this week in the studio, we have Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
Greetings and salutations, good sir.
Good sir. And we have returning this evening, Seth. How are we doing, Seth?
Greetings, Koopalings.
I like how he even says it with less enthusiasm. Oh, and last but certainly not least, making his triumphant return after a brief hiatus, we have the LOBORICAN himself, Q. How are you, sir?
I'm back in my tough. Lobo is back. Boom. What an entrance. You can't pay for that.
It's a good thing we don't.
I'm doing great, Kevin. I'm doing great. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm glad to be here.
It's good to hear your voice again, sir. So why don't we actually jump right into what you've been up to then on your hiatus. Get us up to date with what's been going on in the world of Q.
Yeah, man. So I'm just going to keep it to gaming because there's been a lot of stuff going on in the world of Q. I noticed that Gears of War 4 is right around the corner, and I haven't been Ultimate Edition. So I'm just grinding through it. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I just have very little... It requires a lot of energy for me to jump on a campaign or to continue a campaign. Like, that's not like natural fun to me. Like, I guess I have to continue the campaign. So I don't have a lot of like big chunks of time stuck together. So I have like little bits of time here and there to play. So I've been working on Gears of War. I got to play some Battlefield 1 beta with some friends when that came out. I guess I wasn't impressed, but I don't want to like have, hellfire rain on me by the fanboys of Battlefield. I mean, I know it's a beta. I understand. I wasn't super thrilled to. It's not like, oh man, I can't wait for the next match. Like, at no point did I feel like that, and I don't know. That made me a little bit sad that I wasn't ever super excited about it. I've been playing some Halo 5 and some Rainbow Six Siege. Basically, that's what I play right now. Late at night after I'm done grading undergrad's homeworks or done doing research, I just jump on Halo 5 or Rainbow Six with some friends, and we just we have a couple of drinks and we just kill people. Yeah, and finally, Recore. I've been playing Recore. I'm about 4 to 5 hours into the story, into the game, and I've actually I played the first probably 3 hours before reading any review or checking any scores, and I agree somewhat with the scores. I just feel like my personal score would be higher because I haven't had the technical issues that people have had in other settings or in other platforms. So far, I'm enjoying the game, and I'm really excited to continue playing that.
So to interrupt you real quick, Q, only because we had a couple people ask me already, and I said, hey, Q is going to be on this week, and he's playing Recore now. So I know the scores at first came out really, really low, but then now after a couple days after it's been out, they seem to be a little bit higher. So just like on a 1 to 10 scale, what would you put it right now with what you've played?
So I know GameStop gave it a 6 out of 10 coming out the gate. And I believe that IGN gave it a 7.5 or 7.0 out of 10. And I read both reviews, and I was like, okay, it seems like both GameStop and IGN had UI and loading issues, which I didn't have. Okay. So if I were to judge it based on my experience, I would say the game ranges between a 7.5 and an 8.0.
Oh, nice. Okay. Because
the combat itself, it is tons of fun. There's an auto aim, and I don't want to review the game right now that we could, but there's a specific thing that at first I was like, oh man, there's an auto aim, and I was like, oh, this is kind of a bummer. But then you realize, well, there's an auto aim because when you have like 20 freaking robots coming at you, the auto aim, there's a reason why there's all these like extra special attacks that you can do as with your character Jewel. and the auto aim actually makes those special attacks really effective, or it makes them actually like worth the effort. So so basically, at first I was like, oh, there's all these things that I don't like, but then as I played it, I was like, okay, as my character progresses through the game, I understand why the initial build is the way it is. So that, I want to keep it short. I'm enjoying the game. Obviously, I'm 5 hours in. A game that is campaign heavy, like Recore, actually, it's not just campaign heavy. It is campaign. It's an open world campaign. Relies a lot on the story. And so far, it's a sci-fi dystopian story, but not in a really scary thriller kind of way. It's dystopian in a kind of cute kind of way, like a cartoony kind of way. Not cartoony, but not to be the meaning, but to be like, hey, it's not like the world's not like super jacked up, but humanity probably made some mistakes along the way, But it's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to talking more about it down the road. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, then let's turn it over to Nathan. Sir, what have you been up to?
Not a ton of gaming, unfortunately. I've been really busy for some reason, just stuff comes up and happens, but you know what has been actually really cool to play, and I want to go play it now, and I really want to buy the full game? Forza Horizon 3. The demo came out, and guys, let me tell you, that game looks, feels, plays, sounds, tastes. Yes, tastes amazing. There's just so much about this game that I love, because I love the Horizon series, and they've definitely taken a lot of, I wouldn't say critiques, but comments, and just kind of added to it. They finally have really good like water on the pavement physics, and they just go all around. In the demo, you can race on a beach, so you can get the feel of sand on your tires. Water obviously there, and then mud and other stuff as you run through like the forest area, and of course as you race through the cities on the asphalt. It just completely feels different on each terrain, but so good, you guys. I cannot wait to finally play this game after I'm able to buy it on Black Friday, because this is, I guarantee, the first game I will buy when my hiatus is over, because guys, I'm itching at the bit to play it so bad. Like every time you complete a race or something, it's like, hey, do you want to buy the full game? I'm like, yes, I do, but I can't. So totally stoked and looking forward to that game. The demo just solidifies how awesome this game is going to be. And I know a lot of people out there like, it's a car game, blah. No, you don't even know. This is an amazing experience. Yes, it is a car game, but it is an open world car game. So if you like your open world games and you like just doing stuff from point to point, this is that game. And it's all licensed cars. They're all real. You can fulfill your inner gearhead by adjusting the cars, like the aspiration, the struts, and whatever else you want to do. In the car itself, you can change those things, and it's really great. So it's not to the level, obviously, of the Forza Motorsport, where you can just tinker. It's like super in depth, because Forza is the Motorsport series is track based for sure. I mean, it's track. That's all it is. Horizon is jumping around, doing crazy things, and just having fun playing it. Guys, it is tremendous. I know, Q, you're the only one on this podcast with the Xbox One. Does Forza Horizon 3 make you excited at all?
So I think we've had this conversation before, Nathan. I don't know if it was on this podcast or on another one. I actually never played a Forza, but watching people play Forza made me really excited about playing this one. So I think I'm on the same boat as you. I'll probably grab it when it's a little bit cheaper. I have a hard time dropping $60 in a game that I don't know. I mean, it's not that I will enjoy it, that I want to enjoy it, but I just really want to be more. I guess I don't feel comfortable dishing out that much money for it. But I will definitely grab it when it's a little bit reduced, maybe around Black Friday, just like you.
You got to check out the demo if you get a chance. There's no time limit on the demo. It's not like a beta or anything where you have to play it with a certain window. But definitely, if you are interested, check out the demo just to get a feel for what it is.
How many cars in the demo, Nathan, are there that you can choose from?
scripted, you get 2 off the bat, and then I think there's either 3 or 4 that you can choose from. There's a Mustang, a BMW, and a couple other ones. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones they were. I chose the Mustang because, I don't know, why not? American muscle.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right. Anything else, or that was all you got to this week?
So I go from amazing graphic fidelity, super awesome, beautiful games, right? To there was a game that I brought up in our chat, and I said, hey, look at this game, just kind of ironically, just making mention because it's just an odd release. It's a Kinect game. It's got a very intriguing title, and just screenshots just look, well, read my review, look at my review online, and you'll see what this is. I did a review for a game that came out called Perfect Woman on Xbox One. You heard that right. The game is called Perfect Woman. And
oh, yeah.
and it's so strange. But I really think that this game was engineered to be a discussion starter of some sort, a game that, is, because if you look at the review, you'll see that there's different things that I highlight that could cause, people to want to have a discussion about something, or maybe they are banking on this game becoming, something that is talked about in those kind of circles, and people come to take a look at it, and they throw their $9 at the game, and they get it, and they go on. But anyway, read my review, playsomevideogames.com for that. But I just want to say that if you have a Kinect still, that this is a Kinect game, so it's very rare to see those these days. And I just read my review, watch the video, and you'll get a feel for what this game is. But for the most part, that's my week.
See, that's the problem, Nathan, when you bring up stuff to me on the chat and say, hey, this game looks really weird, and 4 hours later I have a copy for you ready to go. So
yeah. One more thing I did want to mention.
Yeah.
This isn't like I didn't play a game or anything, but last night Mr. Kevin and I and a couple other amazing people, Dave and Jess, we did a special recording for Extra Life. And if you look at the podcast feed on either this little podcast you listen to or That's Entertaining, we did a simulcast on both feeds. So please go check that out if you want to hear more about Extra Life.
Absolutely, and we definitely encourage everybody to give it a quick listen. It's not terribly long, but it's got some great information. It's definitely a worthy cause. So moving along then, Seth, what have you been playing?
All right, I've been playing quite a bit of different things over the past couple weeks. I started about a week ago playing the NBA 2K17 demo called The Prelude, which is it allows you to start your My Career for the new game, and you get to play basically through your college games. You have either 5 or 6 games to play, depending on how well you do. So that was fun. And I have a point guard, went to Illinois, and then actually I just got the full game today and found out that I was drafted by the Phoenix Suns, which doesn't excite me a whole lot, but it's all right. I tried streaming some of that, forgetting that if you stream directly from the PlayStation 4, that there's no audio in NBA 2K17. So we have some streams on PSVG of 2K17 that are just silent. So,
is that a game coding thing that has that silence in there, or is that a thing for some reason?
It started when, back in 2K14, and what they said at that time was it had to do with the licensed music in the game, which I don't understand why. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox. If the sound thing is on Xbox. Obviously, people stream it using, external ways to stream games. So it has something to do with 2K and with Sony streaming their game from their system and not wanting to do copyright, supposedly deal with copyright issues. So I probably won't be streaming as much of that as I had hoped to, but I have the game loaded and it looks great, but I haven't really done much other than get drafted so far. Also, last weekend I jumped into the Overwatch free trial for about a half hour. During that half hour, my game got dropped about 3 or 4 times. I played 2 matches and was terrible at it, and just between not being very good at it and not being able to find other players, I kind of stopped, and I went back to the 2K17 demo. And then, other than that, I got Donnie's old new 3DS week and a half ago, and the 4 games that I've been playing there. I started off playing Super Mario 3D Land and got through all of the regular worlds, and then now I'm kind of working slower through the special worlds, I guess, after you beat the regular game. And then I've been playing some Mario Kart and started Animal Crossing just yesterday, and just now starting to get into Mario Golf. I think I played 1 round of that, so I'm enjoying the 3DS so far. And in Animal Crossing, it's trying to get into just like the flow of how to play Animal Crossing and realizing that it's not a game that I really think that you sit down and play for an hour at a time or whatever. That it's that I can hop in a couple times during the day for 15 minutes and probably take care of what I need to take care of. So that's been fun. Excuse me. Definitely still, and I'm enjoying the 3DS, and I have NBA 2K17, and I'm excited to get into that too, but haven't actually played a game yet.
All right, nice. Well, then that just leaves me, and actually,
I'm kind of hung up on something, Kevin. I'm sorry. I can't be silent. You got your guy went to Illinois. Did you choose that, or like was that like his choice? Was that like the game just saying, "Oh, your life sucks. Let's go to Illinois"?
You got a problem with that?
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna play basketball, you can go to any university. Why go to Illinois?
Hey, I tell you this.
Q. Here are the 10 schools that you can go to. You can go to Georgetown. Where do we go? I'm gonna actually just find a list. Anyway, you could go to Georgetown, Arizona, Louisville, UConn, Illinois, Oklahoma, Georgia Tech, Michigan State, Wake Forest, and there's one more school that I can't think of right now. I chose Illinois because it's a Big Ten school, and I'm in Big Ten country, and orange is my favorite color. That was my criteria, and also I hate Michigan State, partially because of Draymond Green.
Well, it's okay to hate Michigan State, so I'll take that as your most legitimate reason to go to Illinois.
Are you North Carolina or Duke? You go to Duke.
Well, yeah, but my undergrad was NC State, 2 national championships, and I'm at Duke for grad school, 5 national championships. I mean, so
NC State, North Carolina, and Duke, none of them are in this game. Although they do have Mike Krzyzewski as part of Team USA.
Was that like a copyrights thing? I guess like they didn't agree to be part of it. I'm guessing?
They've just had the colleges the past 2 years, and I think it's 2K, because it's just part of their career mode, and it's just whatever colleges they are able to get licensing deals with, because it's just individual. It's not with the entire NCAA. They just get them with the individual colleges.
That makes sense. Well, anyway, Kevin.
Really, there's only like you play 5 games in the uniform, and then you go.
Oh, okay.
You go on, and if you play well enough, you play for Team USA, and then you get drafted in the NBA.
Well, I apologize for the interruption. I just wanted to call out Seth on that, but I feel like now I feel more educated, and so does our audience. So you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody.
All right. So for me, just to be real quick, as of this morning, I wrapped up the Fallout 4 expansion for Nuka World finally. So I'll probably be putting Fallout 4 to bed for quite some time now. I think there are still some side quests I could play, but I'm trying to move on to my new purchase, which I have not even popped in the system yet, and that is the Telltale Batman game. So I have that taunting me so I can blast through. Just episode 1 is out right now. I think that's it for now. So I could play through that, but I haven't done that yet. Other than that, I've been picking away at the 3DS as well, playing Animal Crossing along with pretty much everybody else on the show that has a 3DS at this point, Jason, Seth, and Donnie. And playing Hyrule Warrior Legends on the 3DS, which I'm having a blast with that. The game just feels so much bigger than the 3DS is. I didn't realize it was almost like a direct port of the Wii U version. So that game is pretty massive. There's tons of stuff to do on it, so it's definitely worth my money there. So if you haven't checked that out on the 3DS, I definitely recommend it. I did play it on the Wii U briefly. I had rented it, so I didn't get a ton of time with it. But the 3DS version, I think, is a lot better. It's just easier to digest on a handheld, and you kind of just lay in bed and play away. So cutscenes are beautiful. It definitely doesn't seem like it's a handheld console when you see that come up. Other than that, work's getting into busy season, so I've been busy with just stuff. And then, unfortunately, last weekend, my wife's minivan died after we've had the thing for 10 years, I think, and we bought it used at the time. So definitely got our money's worth out of that. So I had to buy a new car for her. So lots of money thrown at that. So, yeah, just more bills and busy season at work. Not a ton of gaming going on. But that is enough from us, everybody. So now it's time to hear from you and to check our emails and answer your questions as we do each and every week.
Message for you, sir.
You can write to us at podcast@playsomevideogames.com. But let's dive in. So our first question comes from Brendan. Brendan writes in, everybody's getting upset about The Last Guardian being delayed. I canceled my pre-order this week simply because I feel that the game has to have some serious issues if it's delayed yet again so close to being released. Can Sony do anything to sell this game to gamers and make The Last Guardian successful? His personal idea is, what if they delayed the game to release it with a remastered version of Shadow of the Colossus and or Ico? Would you get on board with that game? So overall, what are our ideas then of how they could possibly make The Last Guardian successful, and or if we like his idea? So let's throw it to Q first. What do you think?
I'm not completely familiar with The Last Guardian. I think that's like a PlayStation only thing, right? Isn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
So is the question about the delay, like whether the delay is a good thing or a bad thing?
He's pretty much saying it's a bad thing because this game, so if you're not too familiar, this game's been like in development for like 7 years or something at this point. And it was like getting ready to come out, and then they pushed it back at E3, and then it was supposed to come out like next month, and now it got pushed back again. So he's like, can anything be done to save this game or make people interested again? Because the interest seems to be wavering on The Last Guardian overall because of the delays.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I remember like probably watching the first Last Guardian clip maybe a couple E3s ago, possibly 3 E3s ago. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Man, no, for the most part, whenever a game gets delayed, I think it's a good thing, because that means that the developers are catching issues with the game, and they want to fix it before it comes out, right? I mean, basically not Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft is, well, our game is broken, but we're gonna send it out anyway because we don't care. We have no souls. But I guess I feel like I kind of reminds me of like Mighty Number 9, right? Like it got delayed like 3 times, and I feel like at some point, too many delays is just bad news. 1 delay, okay. 2 delays is like, all right, fine. 3 delays and beyond is like, all right. There's an issue here beyond just the technical work. That at that point, this is an issue of like managerial and it's company culture. There's an issue going on there. So yeah, I mean, I would be worried. That's not good, man. It's not good to have that many delays going on.
No, I agree. I'm in the same boat as Q on this, so it's tough. obviously you don't want to rush and release something that's broken, and we get that. We see enough quote unquote broken games or day one patches that are like multiple gigs, and there's something wrong with that philosophy. For The Last Guardian, though, I mean, I was excited 7 years ago whenever it was announced, and every time I've seen it since then, I've gotten less and less excited about it. So me personally, I'm not sure that anything can be done to save it. I definitely don't think that throwing in Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, their other titles, would really do anything to help save it, because then people would just be talking about how great those games are and were, and then not paying as much attention to The Last Guardian. So for me, I think it's kind of a lost cause, but we shall see when it does eventually release, and we'll see what the reviews say. Seth, what do you think?
Well, I never played the other games until they came out free for PlayStation Plus a couple years ago. So I don't have the nostalgia, and I didn't play them when they were new. And I think there are some games you can go back and play during a later generation and still appreciate and feel comfortable with, like obviously Super Mario Brothers. But I feel like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico are very much PlayStation 2 games, and they have they lack some of the modern conveniences of camera work and things like that. I think that they're both very interesting games. I enjoyed playing, not Ico as much, but I enjoyed playing Shadow of the Colossus, and specifically the battles with the Colossi. But I don't really have a connection to them. So never have been excited about The Last Guardian other than the story. I think it was announced in 2006, and it was shown, I think it might have been shown for the first time in like 2009, something like that. Because the story, if you listen to PlayStation Blogcast, or formerly with the with IGN, Ryan Clements talks about he played the game like 7 years ago. And I saw something on Polygon today. They played an hour of it, and it feels like a PlayStation 2 game. It feels like it was developed 10 years ago, and just maybe it looks prettier now, but it plays like a PS2 game. As far as what they can do to sell it to gamers and make it successful, I think really the only way is if it's a great game. Whatever that initial sale is, people who are huge fans of those two games might jump in on the first day, and some people who are morbidly curious might jump in on the first day. But it really is just going to take great word of mouth, and it just has to be a great game if it's going to be successful. It also, maybe it'll help. It comes out, I think, beginning in December. I don't know what the rating is, but I can't imagine it's anything worse than E10. I can't imagine it's even a teen. I don't know. So I could see it being a semi-popular Christmas time game for kids. Parents trying to find an appropriate game for their kids for Christmas on PlayStation 4 can sometimes be difficult. But really, that's it. The game just has to be great.
Fair enough. Nathan, what say you?
You guys remember Duke Nukem Forever?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that once you go down this path and you have all these things and all these different cooks in the kitchen and things come out not quite right, things don't really jive well together. It's just gonna... I think the final product is going to be very much a game that took a decade to develop. You're going to see it. You're going to see how it's just not up to the standards people are going to think that they want for a PlayStation 4 title. It's an interesting story, really, to see the cult that's kind of developed around this game, Because to me, honestly, this game doesn't do anything. But then again, I've never played Eco. I've never played Shadow of Colossus. They looked intriguing to me, but I never got around to them. But I don't think that this game is going. This delay does not bode well, right? It's kind of like with Final Fantasy 15's delay. I mean, that game has also been in development for quite a long time, maybe just as long as The Last Guardian. And that also just got delayed once more out into another month. So it's not going to be, at best, this game is going to be an okay or good game. This is not going to be a great or amazing game. I guarantee it. And it's going to let a lot of people down. The last game that tons of people got hyped up for that kept getting kind of pushed back, not to this extent, was No Man's Sky, right? And that came out, and it met some people's expectations, but a lot of people just hyped it up way too much. And this game is going to get that same kind of reception. People are hyping it up way too much. And it's not going to meet what their expectations or what their minds are building it out to be. It can't. At this point, there's no way. So as far as what they can do to make it sell well, $30 maybe, and throw in a code. I don't think that they'd have the resources to revamp Eco or Shadow Colossus, but throw down a code and make the PS3 remaster version available on PlayStation 4. I think if you do that, I think that's the only way this is going to be a popular game. As far as getting the masses that aren't really already following this, like those people who are just morbidly curious, or the people that have been following it from the beginning, just to do that. I mean, I think that if they throw in a code, make it compatible with PS4, because they've had PS2 games and things like that they can do that with, that would be a good olive branch, because you can say, hey, I know you guys really love this game. Here, play it again on us. And here's this thing we've been working on for a long time. We hope you enjoy it, but here's things that we know you'll enjoy. So I think that's the best move they can make at this point.
I agree. That's a good idea. All right, so that wraps up that one. So we'll move on to something a little bit lighter now, with a lighter tone. And Sydney wants to know, quite simply, gentlemen, pumpkin spice or nah? So Nathan, you go first.
Gentlemen, I recently, actually tonight before recording, I went to the Morton Pumpkin Festival. If you did not know, Morton, Illinois is the pumpkin capital of the world. So, for my local tax dollars, I say pumpkin, yes.
Nice. Seth, how about you?
No.
Was that a no?
That was such a build-up for nothing. For no.
I did actually have, I don't remember the brand name, but I had some pumpkin spice beer a week or two ago that was actually pretty good. But in general, no.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
I like pumpkin pie. I thought we were talking about pumpkin spice.
The question is pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, like
pumpkin
this time
pie
of year.
is great. And pumpkin, really, that's the only pumpkin thing that I like, actually, pumpkin pie. But although whatever this pumpkin spice beer was I had a week or two ago was fine. So,
fair enough. And Q, how about you? What's your feelings on pumpkin or pumpkin spice?
It's not my go-to drink, but I enjoy it, so I'll say, yeah, pumpkin spice. Sounds good, man. I like it.
Fair enough. And I'm pumpkin everything. I love it all. So give me my pumpkin spice lattes. Give me my pumpkin coffee. Actually went out to dinner with my family a couple hours ago, and I had a Shipyard Pumpkinhead beer. So I'm all on. Love it. It's my favorite time of year for beverages because of the pumpkin theme. So I'm on board there too. So then our next question comes from our buddy Josh, who writes in pretty regularly. He says, hey guys, I'm wondering what your opinion is on critical reviewing and the difference between preview copies and organizations that buy their own copy when the game releases and rushes out a review. Sorry for the run-on sentence. As it pertains to consumers who decide whether to buy a game based on reviews. For example, I would use Recore. I was waiting till day one to see some reviews before I decided to purchase it. One of the first reviews I read gave it a 3.5 out of 10, but they were open about saying about buying the game that day. So they bought it the same day and put out a review, as opposed to other reviews which are now out closer to 6s or 7s that have played it for a few days. Thanks. P.S. My condolences to Hyrule Warriors on a tough week 1 loss in fantasy football. Sincerely, manager and CEO of the GOAT Simulator, Josh. So basically, Josh wants to know what's our opinions on people who get preview copies of games or people who wait till the day it comes out and then kind of pushes out a review and gives it maybe an unfair score based on that. So I'll go first on this one. So because I read the question. So being a person on both sides of this coin now, having purchased a game and got a review out and gotten review copies and had more time with the game before putting out a review, I can say it definitely does affect the score. I think you have to put in a certain amount of time before you can get a grasp on most games. Some games you can play for an hour or two and say, okay, I get what this is trying to do and how this is going to be. But a majority of games are not that way. I do think you need to put in some time, get, a couple hours into it at least before you even have an idea of where it's going and the story and how the gameplay mechanics work. So yeah, for me, first off, I'm not a big review person anyway. If I do read a review, I actually don't look at the score number. I just look at the comments about the gameplay and how it works and stuff like that. Like I find that information to be more valuable as opposed to them putting a number on it, because there's been tons of games that have not been popular at all that I've really enjoyed. So I try not to look at the numbers. But personally, yes, you do need to play a game for a while before giving it a review. I feel as a professional courtesy, if you're going to be any type of reviewer, you can't just rush things out after a couple hours just to get out the quote unquote first review on something after playing it for a few hours. It just doesn't work that way. Seth, what do you think?
I'm along the same line there. Again, now that I don't know that I've helped review a couple games or whatever, I just can't. Like, if I were trying to review NBA 2K17, and maybe I will at some point, but it won't be after this weekend. But that's the kind of game that you really need to put in at least a good 20 hours, if not more, because you need to play through a few full games. You need to. They have like 4 different modes that you can try out, and you need to get far enough in the career mode. And I'm not familiar with Recore, but seen the same sort of thing with No Man's Sky, and it leaked a couple days ahead of time, and it was just the one guy played for like 10 hours one day and 10 hours the next day, and it's just some games are made to be played for, they can easily hold up under 10 hours straight, but I would have trouble playing anything. The most fun game, my favorite games every year are almost always NBA 2K, but if I sat down and played 10 straight games of it, I'd be sick of it by the end of that 10-hour period. I'd want to move on to something else, probably something outside, and stand up for a while. So if I had to review NBA 2K17 this weekend and had to sit and over the next 3 days play 25 hours of it, which I never do, I would probably get sick of it by the end of it. And it probably, then it's easier to start picking at, different flaws you see. Certainly it's not going to be a perfect game, but if you play it for so long, compressed, the flaws will stick out at you, and then it'll drive down the score. On the other hand, there might be other games like Headlander, which isn't a long game, but I pretty much sat down and I completed that in a couple days, and played that game quicker than I normally do, just because I had so much fun with it. So it's a lot easier to be. That's where I trust other gamers' opinions more than just a reviewer's opinion. I have a few reviewers that I read, but I like to see what other people are saying about it after they've played for a while. So that's it.
Fair enough. That sounds good. Q, how about you?
All the way. I mean, absolutely, in advance, for sure. I mean, the reason why that system makes sense is because it's for us. It's for the gamers, right? I mean, think about how many people get frustrated when a game comes out day one and it's just horrible. It's broken. Well, the way that we avoid that is, first of all, by not pre-ordering. Break the pre-order vicious cycle. I mean, I'm going Bernie Sanders on this, man. Like, just stop pre-ordering. Stop doing it. Don't feed the machine. But also, yeah, I mean, the reviewers need time to give you their best advice and their best opinion. And I feel like at the end of the day, the reason why I want games to be delivered early to reviewers is so they have the time to give me the best opinion before I go put out $65 on a game that I'm gonna regret. And I when I think of games that I really had a hard time with, there were games that they didn't get their hands on until day one. Like when I think of a game that I loved, but at the same time it made my life a little difficult. Destiny, right? I love Destiny, but it was a day one review and they didn't get a review out for like 2 weeks, and then they didn't know what to rate it, right? Because the game wasn't complete. So I feel like the more time the reviewers have with the game, the better they can inform the fandom, right? The better they can inform the gaming community, and the better our decisions we can make with our money. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And lastly, Nathan, what's your take on the situation?
I think that for a game to have a good review, you need to make sure that you give it time to gestate, think about it, and reflect on what you played. For someone who goes out, let's say, on a release Tuesday and goes and buys it at 10 a.m. or whenever, if it unlocks at midnight and they play it for 3 or 4 hours, I'm like, okay, I can write a review. No, that's not enough time for you to really understand what you played, to really understand the nuances that the game has compared to some other experiences that you've had, and to form an opinion. Yeah, you have your gut initial instinct, but how many times have you changed your thought, when you're playing a game, like, oh, this actually makes sense now that I'm looking at it a different way, or, just things are more clear as you continue on, or maybe look a little more repetitive if you get on into it. And it's just, you need time to really give it that room to breathe. As far as
Nathan,
yes.
Can I interrupt you? How long did you gestate on The Perfect Woman?
Oh, The Perfect Woman. That's a great example, actually. So for that example, I completed the game 3 times and was able to reflect on it.
Must be a short game.
It is a short game. I understand what they're trying to do. I feel like I had a full understanding of that game at that point. But a game like, for instance, Star Wars Battlefront, I didn't feel comfortable reviewing until it was like 50 hours in, because I wanted to experience everything, really understand the progressions, understand all the different things that it did, and that it kept releasing updates, and so I wanted to kind of be current as I could be with my review. And that's another thing too, when you review something early on, there's gonna be a patch within a week to correct some issues that popped up, right? Yeah. People who get review copies, you may have them for a week or so before release date, and you're playing on that with possible bugs too. So I think the wider question is, where do you guys stand on going back to a review after it's been reviewed, after there's been an update that's changes the game fundamentally, and reviewing it again? Is that something that you should do? But before you answer that, let me conclude with saying that I think that reviews are important if you find yourself aligning with the person who was reviewing it. And like Q said, stay away from pre-ordering a game unless you are guaranteeing yourself that you are going to love this game. Like for me, pre-orders are Star Wars stuff pretty much. Forza Horizon 3 would definitely be pre-order. But I always keep the thought that I want to be able to cancel this pre-order, So Microsoft now doesn't charge until the game, I think, comes close to release, so you can always cancel it if you do it digitally. Or if you go physically anywhere, you can always cancel that pre-order before you pick it up or it's shipped. So if you're going to pre-order it and you're not 100% sure about it, but there's a pre-order bonus, do it physically so you have yourself that out. But otherwise, don't pre-order. There's not a really big necessity to do that anymore. So to you guys, how do you feel about going back, revisiting a game after an update has been released, and maybe altering your review? And would you make that a common practice, or if this is just an exceptional rule?
Personally, for me, I would have no problem going back and updating a score, having, maybe completed a game or played more as far as like DLC content or anything like that, like add-ons. Like you said, Destiny's a great example where it came out as one game, but ended up being something very different by the time it ended. I personally have no problem with it, and honestly, I think it should be common practice for longer games. Shorter games, like you said, like Perfect Woman and Jason and I played Yotan and stuff like that. Like those games, they're fine. They're short. You can do that. But longer games, maybe like for actually Fallout would be a great example for me. I've never reviewed Fallout, but I've raved on and on about this game, but I still haven't completed everything, and I have easily over 100 hours in this thing. So for me, I wouldn't want to put a final number on it until I was done. I could put one on it, but it might change by the time I was done. I'd actually want to go back and say, okay, now that I've experienced everything, this is how I feel. So I personally have no problem with it. Anybody else?
I'll jump on this. Yeah, I don't mind reviewers going back and updating their scores. For example, I guess if you consider Destiny after the Taken King, man, even though that was like almost over, it was definitely over a year after its release. I don't know, man. I really feel like you're allowed to. I mean, no one's gonna keep you from going back and updating your review. You can go do that. I do feel like you still need to harp on the fact that the studio, if the game came out broken and they fixed it later, for the sake of the gamers, you need to nail that down. Because I'm always gamers first. And I have a hard time with studios that say, let's release a game now and then we'll patch it along the way. And that's not okay. Because I feel like you're selling people a broken product, and I feel like reviewers are part of that, of the gaming information and media machine. So I feel like as a reviewer, yeah, you can go back and change a score in a game, but man, don't forgive the bad deployment of the release day. Because I think gamers need to know, hey, by the way, this studio, yeah, they fixed the game, but man, that product when that came out, man, that was rough. So I'm always gamers first, and yeah, so go give the game a fair review, give the gamers the information that they need, but man, don't just take don't let the studios off the hook, because they need to be responsible with the hearts of the gamers, man. That's all I got.
I agree. Seth, do you have any input on this?
Not a ton. I mean, with the Destiny example, I was on Destiny from day one. I loved the alpha, loved the beta, loved the actual game. I'm excited about the new game coming out, or the new expansion or whatever coming out next week. And I think that's a little different because you can clearly review the game at its different states. You can review what's the new one called, Rise of Iron. You can review Rise of Iron and talk about the game as a whole, and can really show what the value is if you buy in today, how much content you have to play, and that it is a good game now. But I do think, kind of like you was saying too, the snapshot of the game when it released is also important. So if it's something where if you do update your review, keep a link to your old review, things like that, just to kind of show how things changed and why things changed. Polygon does a pretty good job of, when they do change a review score, they include an explanation as to what changed about it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I like the way they do it. Another thing that I've been thinking about during this question, in terms of review copy timing and how, No Man's Sky didn't get review copies out early, and Duke Nukem, I'm sure didn't as well. an example of where it was actually a really good game, I think, was it Doom earlier this year? They didn't send out review copies because the online stuff wasn't on.
Yep.
And Doom got great reviews. So I think it can go both ways. I think ultimately the companies, it's their game, it's their business, and they're in it. I mean, they want to make a good game. I believe that Sean Murray wanted to make the best game ever. And whether you're Hello Games or Sony or EA, you want to make the best game. And if the best game, if it's not putting your best forward to send out a game 2 weeks early, then for whatever reason, whether it's server issues or whether it is even a day one patch that fundamentally changes things, which is kind of ridiculous, it's ultimately up to them. I mean, yes, as a consumer, it would be nice to have every review done a week ahead of time and be able to definitively know that a game is going to be great or going to be terrible. But it's a business decision, and that's what it boils down to.
Fair enough. All right, so then moving on to before we move on, so thank you again, Josh, for sending that in. Also, Josh doesn't know I'm doing this, but I did notice that him and his wife, Ashley, had posted this week on Facebook that they are expecting their first child. So congratulations to Josh and Ashley. We love you guys. Thanks for continuing to support us, and remember to keep sending those questions in. So our last question, once again, comes from Kyle's wife. So I think what we're going to do is implement a new segment into the show where every week one of our wives will send us in a question because, let's be honest, they probably have no clue what we're doing. They just know we run away for a couple hours every week and record some sort of show. So Kyle's wife wants to know this week, what food represents us and why? So Nathan, what type of food represents you, sir?
This one's easy. A smoked honey ham.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Oh, you know why.
Okay, fair enough. So now I'm afraid to ask Q, what food represents you, sir?
Oh man, this is a really tough question. Yeah, I guess I have multiple choices, but I'm gonna go with some good old Carolina barbecue. And down here, barbecue is not a piece of meat that you throw on a grill. That is sacrilege. Down here, barbecue is pulled pork. It's delicious. It's vinegar style. Well, at least on the eastern part. What's that?
That mopping sauce.
Look, man, on the western part of the state, they use this ketchup tomato crap. I don't know what that is, but God will punish them for that one day. Barbecue is supposed to be with vinegar sauce.
Yep.
And I was not born in this state. I grew up here, and I'm an adopted North Carolinian, and that's how you're supposed to eat barbecue. And I feel about it so passionately that's what represents me.
I'm with you. I like the North Carolina vinegar-based stuff myself too. So big fan there. So Seth, how about you? What food represents you and why, sir?
Pizza. Because I'm cheesy.
Oh boy.
I feel like I could take that in so many directions, but I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yep, it's best left just like that, I think. So, all right. So for me, I tried to think of me personally as like what food would represent my personality. And I went with a hamburger. And why is you never quite know what you're going to expect out of a hamburger. There's so many different combinations. Sometimes it might be really good. Sometimes it might be really terrible. Sometimes the ingredients make you go, who the heck thought this up in the first place? So I think that pretty much wraps up with me. So
I disagree, Kevin.
Really?
Yeah.
You think I'm more of a pumpkin spice latte because I'm a basic white girl?
No. I think you are salami.
Salami. Okay,
Those
why?
are fighting words, sir. Those are fighting words. Watch yourself.
No, I like
Because-
salami. I just want to know why.
6 thin slices of salami have the same amount of salt as Ritz crackers. 39 Ritz crackers. You are salty. Salami is salty.
Ah, that makes more sense now.
I don't know. I searched salty foods. So
Just search salty foods.
I did.
All right. So that wraps up our mailbag for this week. So don't forget, everyone, to send us your questions. You can reach out to us on Twitter at PSVG, Facebook.com/PlaySomeVideoGames, and of course, email us at podcast@PlaySomeVideoGames.com. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move on to the main event for this evening. And, you know, it's that time of year when you simply cannot get away from politics, politicians, speeches, debates, commercials. You know, you get people calling you up at dinner time asking you for their support, and you're going to go out and move the vote for them. Well, far be it for us to break that chain. So instead, at Play Some Video Games, we accept the challenge to make America game again. So we've taken our 3 other hosts this week, Nathan, Seth, and Q, and we are making them president of the big 3 gaming companies. Nathan will act as president of Sony, Seth will act as president of Microsoft, and Q will act as president of Nintendo. Now you might think, why in heck would Nathan be president of Sony? Well, because I like to torture our hosts, and I put them in all companies that they may not currently agree with, to have them gain some insight and look at things from their perspective and to find out what they would do to make changes to that company. So I will be asking them a series of questions and allowing them to speak independently and also to go debate back and forth on certain questions. We thought it would make for a fun what-if type experiment. So I will time everybody on their questions. So, gentlemen, you will have 2 minutes to craft and deliver your responses to my questions before I will cut you off just like they do on television and rudely interrupt you and move on to the next person.
Kevin?
Yes.
First, before we get started, I just want to clear the air real quick here. I did not block mod support for that game.
Oh, God.
Fallout 4. That's all.
See, Nathan just won the debate for me. See? You just did it. You did it. You're biased. So actually, before we jump into the questions, I did also want to say we will put out a poll afterwards, everybody. I think we'll do it on Twitter or something, where we want you all listening to vote on who, quote unquote, wins the debate for you. So it'll be fun to see what happens there. So we'll jump right in. And then my first question will go out to Seth. So reminder, Seth is the president of Microsoft. Seth, Microsoft is poised to have a big holiday season. It seems that the industry, based on feedback and recent announcements, Microsoft is just kind of doing everything right now. What plans do you have to ensure that this streak should continue?
You're right, Kevin. This holiday season is going to be huge for Microsoft. Huge. We're building walls. This holiday season, we're going to put out great gaming experiences. You've got Forza Horizon on the horizon. You've got Gears of War 4 coming out. We will continue to grow our relationships with third-party developers, which you've seen over the history of Xbox and especially the history of Xbox One. Xbox continues to be the best place to play games from one of the industry's biggest publishers, Electronic Arts. EA Access is only on Xbox and allows all Xbox owners to try every EA game for 10 hours. We'll continue to expand on relationships like that. Gamers, for this holiday season, you have the Xbox One. You have the Xbox One S is the system to buy for 4K gaming. And then you hop in now, or hopefully you've already jumped in to the Xbox boat. And in a year, we're going to come out with the Scorpio, and you'll just want to upgrade, and that's going to be bigger and better. So there's a lot going on in the Xbox world right now.
Excellent. Well put. And in under 2 minutes. Very well done. So my next question then, I'm going to bounce over to Nathan now. So, Nathan, Sony has been criticized numerous times for their online strategy with the PSN network, PS Plus, and how they do online gaming. What do you want to do to change that infrastructure to make for a better overall experience for gamers?
Kevin, first off, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity and for all of those who are watching and listening. It has been my great pleasure to represent Sony in this endeavor, and I will continue to make Sony great as we await the greatness. And as you said with numerous times with our online strategy, we have a strategy that is online. And, you know, it's one that we feel comfortable with. However, Sony is not done. Ladies and gentlemen, Americans, voters, gamers alike, my plan to change the infrastructure is to stop with these Windows 2000 boxes and these Windows XPs all around the place that are running Panda security, ladies and gentlemen. They aren't even running the latest virus definitions. You're safe now, but you could be safer in the future, and you will be when we partner with one of our strong competitors, Microsoft. We'll leverage their Azure platform, and we will cross those aisles. Ladies and gentlemen, we will cross the aisle, and we will build a greater society. We will build together. These jobs will be for you, for me, for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about Sony. This is about gamers. This is about security. This is about the best online experience you can have. And we will build it. We will build it. And you will come. Thank you.
Oh, well said. Also under 2 minutes. Didn't have to cut you off either. So
Can I interject?
Nope, no, you cannot. So These are not debate questions yet. We will get to the debate later on.
All right.
So, Q, it's time to point the camera at you, sir. So, Nintendo has said time and time again that it does not wish to compete with Sony and Microsoft. Do you feel that this is a gross misstep, or is it a planned strategy for the company? And is it a good strategy for the company? Why or why not, sir?
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for having me here tonight. It's a great honor to be at the stage right now. I don't know why we have to compete against nobody. Because we're the best company out there. Nintendo is the best gaming company out there. You don't compete with a lesser product, Kevin. You don't compete with a lesser product. So why would we lower ourselves to standard of lesser products, of lesser companies? We are the best company out there. So our product isn't your standard console that you can throw like a football, except it weighs 20 pounds and break your friend's head. No, it's a product that is revolutionary, and the NX is going to be exactly that, Kevin. It's going to be a revolutionary piece of machinery.
Fair enough. Oh, that was great. I don't even know what to say. All right, so bouncing back to Seth then. So, Seth, Sony VR is getting ready to launch this fall. However, Microsoft makes no plans to release a VR component for their Xbox consoles. Do you see this as a mistake? Why or why not?
It is not a mistake. Virtual reality presents a lot of awesome opportunities, neat opportunities. However, we don't feel that the current state of VR is compatible with our vision of a living room console. We don't want to sell you a version of VR that's going to not meet your expectations. Once the technology becomes fully wireless, it will be more conducive to that living room setting. With the VR stuff coming out right now, you've got to have these wires connected to your head, and you have these glowing balls and things like that. Once we get past all this, then we'll jump into the VR stuff. Additionally, Xbox is one very important part of the Microsoft family. We own the console market. Don't pay attention to sales numbers. We own the PC market. We believe that early VR enthusiasts are more likely to be PC players instead of, or in addition to, console owners. It did not make sense for Xbox to have virtual reality at this time because it's just there's a better experience on PC at this time, and that's where the players are.
Excellent. So the next question, then we bounce back over to Nathan and Camp Sony. So Nathan, Sony unveiled a few weeks back now at this point the new PS4 and the PS4 Pro.
Yes, we
but did not include a 4K Blu-ray drive.
No, we did not.
Do you agree with this decision? Why or why not?
Kevin, again, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to say that I support my party's decision, but I have to respectfully disagree with some of the methods that we used in this endeavor. Were it up to me, ladies and gentlemen, there would be 4K for you, for me, for everyone. Now, listen to me as I go down this road with you. If you want to put in a 4K Blu-ray into your PlayStation 4 Pro at this point, when it releases in November, you cannot do so. However, I encourage you to continue buying those 4K Blu-rays because, ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce a bill. Oh, no. I will introduce a petition to the company, to the people within Sony, so we can rise to the top once more with our 4K Blu-ray, and we will insert a 4K Blu-ray as a mail-in option.
As a mail-in option?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, anyway.
You still have about 35 seconds.
But I do, again, like I said, support my party and their decision in this endeavor. However, I will make sure, ladies and gentlemen, gamers alike, cinephiles and audiophiles, yes, we will have 4K support in the future. However, you may need to trade in your device once you buy the PlayStation 4 Pro. However, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you, we have not forgotten you. We have not left you in the dust. No, you are important to us. We just aren't ready for you yet. But we will be. Greatness awaits.
Oh, that was insane. All right, so before we move on to our debate questions, Q, you have the last one. So with the announcement / reveal of the NX coming pretty much at any moment now, what would you do to try and bring back more third-party support for Nintendo that it has been clearly lacking since the end of the life cycle of the original Wii and all of the Wii U time period?
That is a great question, Seth. Once again, I have a great plan for America. We are going to bring back third-party support to the Nintendo, the Nintendo console system. We're by lowering the price of our product. We are not selling you a brick. We're not selling you a brick. So we're not selling you a brick called the Xbox, whatever that is. We're not selling you a brick called the PS4 or Frisbee. Honest, it looks more like a Frisbee if you ask me. We're selling you the Nintendo NX. So we're gonna set the standard with our product. We're gonna set the market with our product price, and we're gonna flush the market with units by bringing down the price of our product, and therefore by flooding the market and by making Americans and people all over the world buy our console. We're gonna bring third party. We're saying, hey, third party developers, this is the console that's flooding the market. Everybody owns an NX. Everybody wants to own an NX. Develop for us. Not only that, but I have a second step. In the past, Nintendo has had not the best relationship with third-party developers. During the 90s and the early 2000s, we were pretty dictatorial with our relationship with third-party developers because the other alternative was Sega or Sony in its early days. We are not that anymore. We need to bring back third-party developers by showing them that we are the console of the future, not the bricks that PlayStation and Xbox are making. but the Nintendo NX. We are the next step forward. Thank you, Kevin.
Shots fired. All right. So those are the
how are you going to improve third-party relationships if you don't even know the name of the person you're talking to? Just saying.
Am I being addressed right now by somebody?
You are being addressed. You don't even know my name.
I think your name is Phil Spencer. Is that right?
Okay, so we're going to move off of the individual questions and move on to the debate portion. So here, you all will get the same 4 questions. You will go in the order I give them to you in. So I will, say, hey, I expect Q's answer, I expect Seth's answer, I expect Nathan's answer. You can address the previous statements from the other people during your 2-minute time frame if you wish, or you could just go on with saying whatever you want to say in your 2 minutes. And whoever goes first will have an opportunity at the end to rebut anybody else's comments if they so choose. So I will guide you through the process, don't worry. So the first question I have then is going to go to Seth first. So Seth, what would be your strategy for this holiday season and throughout 2017 with Microsoft?
My strategy for this holiday season is we talked about it earlier. The Xbox One S is out there, and it is a great product with 4K disk drive and 4K floppy disk, 4K whatever you want. It's on the Xbox One S. We have great bundles this holiday season with Battlefield, with Gears of War, with Forza Horizon 3. Our cards are on the table, and we have a straight flush this holiday season. Next year, our strategy remains the same. The Xbox One provides a robust, affordable package for gaming, and we have the biggest and best games. We also aren't only focused on the holiday season. Gaming has changed during the past 10, 20 years. It's no longer just November and December. It's no longer just about your Call of Duty and Battlefields. It's about those games, but it's about January when Resident Evil 7 comes to Xbox One S, For Honor, Halo Wars, Ghost Recon Wildlands, System Shock Remake, new Crackdown game, Injustice, Mass Effect, Sea of Thieves, South Park, State of Decay 2, Tacoma, and a lot more are coming throughout the next throughout 2017, and then in fall 2017, the Scorpio is going to drop, and it's going to light the world on fire, and we just straight up have a better product. Nintendo's talking about our brick. Our brick is going to smash their whatever the NX is. It's going to be a stapler. I don't know. Our brick is going to smash the stapler. That's my quote.
All right, I was going to have to hold you there anyway. So now I throw the same question to Nathan. So Nathan, what is your strategy for this holiday season and throughout 2017 with Sony?
Oh, strategy for this holiday season and 2017. Quite frankly, we don't need a strategy. You're coming to us anyway. Because, I don't know. We are Sony, of course, and we have the greatest games. You just have to wait for them, and you'll get them eventually. We just until then, we have our great partners like EA and Infinity Ward and different places that provide us with exclusives. Like baseball is an exclusive to our platform. If you want baseball with real players, where are you going to go? The World Series is just around the corner. The Cubs are going to the World Series. And if you are a baseball fan, you can only experience that with greatness on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, let me tell you about our strategy for this holiday, though, specifically. This holiday, we will release a game that you've been waiting for a long time called The Last Guardian. It will be here or in 2017. I can't do this with a straight face. Okay. However, I do realize that this game has taken a little bit longer to come out, and I do believe that some of you are a little frustrated with our current bad week of news. So let me assure you that the PlayStation 4 Slim will be there for you at $299 this holiday season. We will also have the PlayStation 4 Pro for you at $399 with a double GPU and twice as loud on the fan. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is not all. In 2017, we have on the horizon...
Time. You gotta hold. Sorry.
Greatness.
Ran out of time. Greatness. All right, so Q, we throw it to you. So what is Nintendo's strategy for this holiday season and throughout 17? Go.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Nintendo strategy for the season is to hit the market with a different product, a lower price product than our competitors. What this means to us, what this means to the global gamer community, is that they do not, Kevin, they do not have to choose between Xbox or Nintendo. They don't have to choose between Sony and Nintendo. Our product is a different product. It is a product that complements the entertainment experience that they have in their living rooms. Therefore, we're going to win the holiday season by being in every single living room. Xbox living rooms, Nintendo living rooms, Sony living rooms. The NX will be everywhere because it's not competing against the Xbox or the Sony. We're complementing the experience that gamers are enjoying everywhere. So yes, Kevin, we are going to win by being everywhere and hitting everything and hitting it at a lower price. And as I said earlier, by lowering the price, by being everywhere, we're going to bring back third-party support to our console and to our company. Thank you.
Excellent. So, Seth, since you went first, I will give you 1 minute to rebut anybody's comments if you wish so, starting now.
Kevin, an extremely credible source has called my office just now and told me that Nathan Thomas, his PlayStation birth certificate is a fraud. He is not defending PlayStation. He is actually my employee. I placed him there. He is a Microsoft evangelist hiding in PlayStation clothing.
Kevin, let's build a wall around this comment that he's making right now.
No. You. The floor is Seth's.
When
The floor belongs to the taxpayer, sir.
when PlayStation sent their person to this meeting, they did not send their best. They sent someone who has lots of problems. He's bringing those problems with him. He's bringing drugs. He's bringing crime.
Time. Okay.
I couldn't say the next part of that quote because I don't believe that he's really bringing the next part. So we'll just.
So we have to move on to the next question. So this one's gonna go to Q first. So Q, if Nintendo were to bring back one quote unquote lost franchise, what would it be and why?
It's me, Mario.
This is a great question, Kevin. I think gamers everywhere deserve a good answer. If we could bring back a franchise that we've lost, who would we bring back? This is a great question because it really touches the most bottom and deepest part of my soul. You see, I want Nintendo to be everywhere and to be everywhere like it was at some point. Right, Kevin? Right. Thank you for agreeing with me. So when you ask me if we could bring back a franchise, if we could bring back an experience, if we could bring back a moment that gamers love and they want back, what would that be? Well, there's a set of criteria to deciding on what would that be. First of all, what are different options? The second criteria is who is willing to come back. The third criteria would be choosing who comes back. So I think what you're asking is a really good question because it really gets at the heart of Nintendo. Nintendo wants to be everywhere, and we're going to do it by bringing back third-party support. And here's the thing, Kevin. We're hitting the mobile market because we're releasing a Mario game on the iPhone, on the iOS. So yes, we're going to be everywhere. We're going to be in your phones now. You're going to have little fat plumbers jumping on your iPhone screen. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm behind it. So we're going to be everywhere. And that is how we're going to bring people back. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Not sure you answered my question, but we'll move along.
Oh, I answered your question, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Fair enough. All right, so this is going to go to Seth next. So Seth, if Microsoft was able to bring back...
Excuse me. I didn't get a chance. Excuse me, sir.
You're third. You're third.
You skipped me, sir.
Nope. You're third. You hold on. So Seth, if you could bring back one lost franchise to Microsoft, what would it be and why?
First, our great, I put that in sarcastic quotation marks, Nintendo president hasn't exactly had a positive impact on the games that have come back that are so openly destroying the Wii U and the 3DS, like Federation Force, whatever the heck franchise that is based on, or the new Pikmin game that looks like crap. If I were running Nintendo, I'd fire the LOBORICAN. I mean, look at her right in her fat, ugly face.
Look at her? What is going on?
I think there's a lot of life. I think there's a lot of life left in the Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata.
And it could be a great family-centered entry on the Xbox One lineup.
Oh my god.
So that's my answer.
Oh my god. Oh, I am dying. All right, so Nathan and Sony, now you have your chance to speak, sir. If you... Oh, this is going to be an editing nightmare. If you could bring back one lost franchise to Sony, Nathan, what would it be and why?
The franchise I would bring back to Sony is Gran Turismo. It is lost to the ages, ladies and gentlemen. It is lost. It began the race, but it couldn't finish. It lost its way. It blew its tire in the second lap. Forza has come around. We all know it's superior. However, ladies and gentlemen, if I am given the privilege to continue on, we will rebuild Gran Turismo. It will be Gran Turismo Horizon 1. We will have that on our docket. We will have the game that you want to play. However, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say that our great speaker from Microsoft was taking a phone call while during this conversation. He literally said he was in contact with his office during this discussion. He is not listening to you. He is not paying attention to your needs, your wants. He is pushing his own agenda. And I have my birth certificate here. I carry it with me. Signed on PlayStation Island, ladies and gentlemen. Circa 1999. Signed by one...
1999.
Signed by one C. Moriarty.
1995.
No.
Moriarty.
However, ladies and gentlemen, I do not disparage. I do not take phone calls away from you. I will dedicate myself to you. I will dedicate myself to the greatness that we await.
Excellent. So, Q, then you get to rebut your attacks from your fellow candidates here on this question. So if you wish, you have 1 minute starting now.
Thank you, Kevin. I do not see myself in the need to rebuke the attacks of my fellow candidates. And there's a point why that is the case. I feel like I am not the competitor. Nintendo isn't trying to kill Xbox. Nintendo isn't trying to kill Sony. We have accepted the fact that we're going to coexist in the same gaming universe. We're not trying to burn down Sony. We're not trying to burn down Xbox. We simply want to share the piece in your entertainment system next to your Xbox, next to your PS4. I've made that very clear. We have the best people and the best words. We believe at Nintendo that we still have the best franchises from your childhood, the franchises that your children, that gamers, children's everywhere will grow up playing. So here's the thing. This is what I say to my competitors. We will survive, and we will never leave your living rooms.
Your time is up, sir. Sorry, I got to hold you there. So our final question then this evening, gentlemen, it's going to start with Nathan here. If I'm a gamer looking to buy a console now, and I don't have anything from this current generation at all, why should gamers go to your specific company? Nathan, we will start with you, sir.
This year, this season, we're faced with a choice, ladies and gentlemen. Do we go quietly into that good night? Do we vanish without a fight? No. We're going to live on. We're going to endure. Today, we celebrate our independence as gamers. And I will lead you into that green pasture, into that greatness. I will show you the way on the horizon. I will show you the uncharted waters. I will take you past the gods of war, past all of those individual things that you just can't touch and bring, and you will have them. I will lower the taxes that are PlayStation Plus. I will bring you more of what you want. You will have the virtual reality that you want, that you deserve, that you need. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for change, for hope, for greatness.
Excellent, then. So now we will throw it to Q next. So, Q, why should gamers go with Nintendo?
Thank you, Kevin. Like I was saying earlier, Nintendo embodies the principles, the values, the experiences, the great gaming moments of your childhoods. There are very few gamers, Kevin. There are very few gamers who have never played, who didn't grow up with Nintendo. There's very few of them. And yet you're still gamers. Why is that? Why is that the case? Because, Kevin.
Because they all left Nintendo. That's why.
Hey, Seth.
Excuse me, sir. Remove yourself, sir. Remove yourself.
Delete my Twitter.
Oh.
I broke down. Because at the end of the day, Nintendo is a console that will remain in your living rooms into the lives of your families. See, you can't have fun party times with your Xbox. You can't have fun party times with the PlayStation. But you can have it with Nintendo. That's all I got. I'm falling apart here.
Okay. So now we turn the tables to Seth and Microsoft then, sir. Why should gamers make the jump with Microsoft currently?
My IQ is one of the highest, and you all know it. Please don't feel so stupid or insecure. It's not your fault. Oh, that was the wrong speech. At Microsoft, we are not a company that likes to throw shade at other companies. Don't pay attention to those Surface Pro commercials or the recent Xbox tweet about us having the disk drive. I would say the Xbox One S provides unparalleled power and gaming experience in the console space, except that after you buy it, it'll probably brick because that's what Microsoft does. We are the only place with true 4K compatibility, except that nobody has 4K TVs. We support mods on all of your favorite games, like Fallout and Skyrim and all of the other games that have mods. We are the only place with... Oh, I already said that. You can take your Xbox gaming library on the road on your PC or laptop if you would like to. Backwards compatibility means you can play past classics as long as you want to, because every game coming out now is going to suck. Sorry, I'm just pulling a Nathan here. Anyway, Xbox is the place to play because you have backwards compatibility. You can play a great library of games, hundreds of games, and we have great games coming out over the next year. And our system allows it to be a full entertainment system. You can watch movies in 4K, you can play games in 4K, and you can design your own controllers, which is really cool. You can dance around and act like the perfect woman in front of your Kinect that we are discontinuing. You can do everything that you want to do on Xbox.
I can even stop you there, sir. Your time's up. So, okay. Nathan, you have the final say in this debate then. So we throw it to you to you can attack your opponents if you wish, because clearly they were firing shots in your direction. So you have 1 minute starting now.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to my distinguished opponents on the field, especially to you, Mr. LOBORICAN. We appreciate your taking the time out of your busy schedule and coming to speak with us today in this candid discussion. I'd like to reach across and say that I did not attack you, and I am pleased that that you are also a non-American company, and that we will infiltrate America together. Thank you, sir. So, to my person over here, who wants to say that I was planted from his base. It is not true. No, I was playing PlayStation back in the original days. Metal Gear Solid, ladies and gentlemen. Final Fantasy VII, Summoner. It was back then that I was grown in the PlayStation. I wasn't a mere recent adoption to it. I have been gaming with you, with all of us as gamers, as one, as we continue through our adventures and exploring together. So, I don't want to attack anybody. I just want to address that I am PlayStation. I am you, and we are together. Greatness.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for participating in our debates. And like we said, we'll have shortly after this episode posts, you can vote for who won, ? This debate here, and we hope you had some fun with it, because clearly we did. So yeah, I think it's time then, gentlemen, we move on to and take a look at this week's video game news.
This week in Play Some Video Game News.
Nathan, let's start with you then, sir. Since you had the final say in the debates, let's give you the first say in the news. What is going on over there with you?
I gotta refocus here for a second. Put myself right in the frame of mind again, because that was weird. That was like an out-of-body experience a little bit. So my one and only news article, because surprisingly, this is not a lot of news recently. But you know how much I love The Witcher 3 and how much I really enjoyed that experience. Well, if you live in Poland, the one and only Geralt of Rivia is getting a stamp in Poland.
Oh, really?
So that's actually pretty cool. I'm not sure. I'm sure Mario has been on a stamp, but I wonder how many video game characters have actually made it to a stamp. That's got to be a pretty big deal.
I would think so.
So that was my one bit. I thought that was pretty cool. It was just kind of caught my eye when I heard it, and I was like, "What?" And it's just a great little bit that came out of the news cycle this week.
All right, excellent. I like that one. Seth, what do you have going on for news?
All right, I have two quick things. Don't want to take up a lot more time, but earlier today, comments from Shuhei Yoshida came out about No Man's Sky. Some comments he made to Eurogamer that were just kind of interesting as a company that published their. I don't actually know if they published the game, but that definitely Sony was way behind the game. But he said he really enjoyed the game, but that he understands some of the criticisms that Sean Murray is getting because he sounded like he was promising more features in the game from day one. And then later on, he says it wasn't a great PR strategy because he didn't have a PR person helping him, and in the end, he's an indie developer. So I just thought it was interesting, interesting hearing that viewpoint from, PlayStation's boss or one of the faces of PlayStation. Was just interesting. And the other thing out of Tokyo Game Show that jumped out at me, the only thing that I thought was kind of cool, Resident Evil is getting a mobile remake. The story I saw was on Polygon, and they're getting a mobile remake called Bakahaza, Bakahaza, and it is developed in collaboration with the manga artist Fujio Akatsuka. I'm sure that I said that terribly wrong. It's a free-to-play title coming to iOS and Android devices, retelling the story of the original Resident Evil with way more pixels and gags. It doesn't star the cast of the original, of any Resident Evil, I guess. Instead, it features characters from Akatsuka's Tensai Bakaban series, which is a comedy about a father-son pair that ended its most recent comic book run in 1992. So it's kind of a weird pairing, but it looks really, really cool. It still has plenty of zombies and bloodshed and everything, but it's very pixel heavy and it's a mobile game, but it looks cute. And if you like Resident Evil, I have to think that you'd like this, and it's free.
You can never go wrong with free, that's for sure. So, Nathan, I did a quick search while Seth was going through his news subject. So, you're right. There's only been a handful of video game characters featured on stamps. So, Japan has done a bunch with just like anime and gaming exclusives out there that we wouldn't be familiar with. But they did do an entire set of retro 8-bit Mario ones with Princess Peach and like the Bowser and Cheep Cheeps and Goombas and stuff. But France actually did what I think is the most interesting set. They did one with Spyro, Link, Prince of Persia, Donkey Kong, Mario, Rayman, The Sims, Lara Croft, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders is a set too a couple years back. Yep, in France, of all places. So, I don't know. They just did. So, it was pretty cool. So, yeah, there hasn't been too many, but there are some out there. So, fun little facts for you. So Q, do you got any news going on this week?
Yeah, the greatest news of all time, actually, Kevin. It came out today. The Pokemon Go Plus is on stores. Oh, wait. It's sold out. It's sold out everywhere. Pokemon Go Plus is a little device that is a Bluetooth device that connects with your phone application for Pokemon Go. And it allows you to play the game while you don't have the phone out of, when you're not interacting with the application. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. It went on sale, I think, 11 hours ago or 12 hours ago, and according to gaming sites, around a few hours ago there was an update, and it said that officially Pokemon Go Plus is sold out at GameStop, and it's out of stock on Amazon. But apparently some third parties are still selling it. So I don't know. I honestly haven't read any reviews about what are the first impressions on it and whether it works or how people feel about it. I expect not good, because it seems like a really very weird device that I don't know how it replicates the application. I mean, I play the application because it's fun to use the application, not just so I want to click a button the entire time. But yeah, I mean, people are buying it, so I guess people are into it. So I guess they're making money. So it's a $35 product, so someone's buying it.
Absolutely. Are you still playing Pokemon Go, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Not probably as intense as I was, but right. I definitely. I mean, I'm level 25. I mean, it takes so long to level up. I probably will level up 5 levels between now and Christmas, if that. I mean, it might be a lower rate than that, but yeah, I'm playing. I mean, I every time I'm walking around or I get to a new place, or I'm walking, around school or work, I always have my phone out, and basically I'm collecting steps, trying to hatch some eggs. Get some Pokemon. Yeah, so yeah, I'm still playing.
All right, there you go. Do you have any other news for this week?
I am done for the week. Yep.
All right. Nathan, you told me you got one more bit of news?
You know me, it's Star Wars. So, this is kind of a two-parter. So, if you have Star Wars Battlefront and you want to check out the Bespin content, it is currently from September 12th to 18th free to try right now. So if you have Battlefront, you can just load it in there and you can check out the new maps and all the stuff that was related with the Bespin content. You can give Lando Calrissian a go and see how that treats you. But the bigger news is that September 20th, for those who hold the Season Pass for Star Wars Battlefront, you will have the new Death Star content. So you'll be able to do some space combat, and you're going to have Chewbacca and Bossk as new playable characters on September 20th. So it should be interesting to see how this game continues to evolve and grow, and it's great. So I'm looking forward to seeing this classic location and really getting out in space combat this time, and seeing how that feels.
Awesome. Nathan, is the season pass thing where you get it 2 weeks ahead of time, is that the same for PlayStation and Xbox both?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, good.
Cool.
I wasn't sure if it was just a PlayStation thing.
No, it's definitely on both.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so that wraps up the news for this week then, everybody. So before we say goodbye for the evening, let's take a look and see if anybody has anything that they would like to plug this week. So Nathan, let's go to you first.
First off, I changed my Twitter handle. So you might have used to know me as Sith Nightmare on Twitter, but now I am voiced by Nathan. So if you would like to follow me on Twitter, I am at voiced by Nathan. Over on PlaySomeVideoGames.com, like I said before, I should have a review soon for those of you eager to read about Perfect Woman and my experience with the game. And over on That's Entertaining, still continuing on in Sherlock, and as mentioned at the head of the show, me and Kevin got together and put out a special episode for That's Entertaining and Play Some Video Games, a joint venture where we discussed Extra Life. And if you have questions about Extra Life or anything else, listen to that podcast. And if you'd like to donate to my Extra Life, it is extra-life.org/participant/NT. So there you go.
Boom. Easy enough. Seth, anything you'd like to plug?
Not really. I don't think that I have anything new up on the site right now. I was planning on streaming a lot of NBA 2K, but don't think that's going to happen because I can't imagine anybody wanting to watch silent streams of that. So I'll be. I don't know what I'm doing right now. As far as what's on tap for me in the future, in a month from today is the due date for our third daughter. So sometime pretty soon here, that is going to happen, and I'll be heard from quite a bit less than I am now. So that's really kind of where, I'm starting to slow down on some things, just because we're getting ready for that, and school started, things like that.
Naturally. Where can everybody find you on Twitter if they're not following you already?
They can find me by searching at Seth Joseph Roy, all together. They can also find me on Twitter. I tweet about some video game stuff, some sports, and some food, and probably pictures of my kids. And then also if you go onto the Play Some Video Games website and look at our About section, and you see our little staff bios, my PSN is there. Seth is the GOAT. And then also, if you're on 3DS and want to add me, my 3DS friend code is there. I'm still figuring out how all that stuff works. If you add somebody, do they have to add your code, and then do they have to send you their code also?
No, you both have to add each other basically to be friends both ways.
So anyway, if you want to add me on 3DS, go to playsomevideogames.com and add my friend code, and then tweet at Seth Joseph Roy with whatever your friend code is, or you can send me a private message. You can slide into my DMs, and we can play some Mario Golf or Mario Kart, or whatever else comes out on 3DS. So that's it.
Alrighty, and Q, where can everybody find you, sir?
I have like 15 Twitter handles. I mostly just collect them to see if one of them becomes like, famous, and then I can make like $10,000 from it. But people can find me at LOBORICAN Power on Twitter, at LOBORICAN Power, exactly as you heard it. If you need that spelled out, then please don't follow me. I don't want you following me. And so what to plug in? Yeah, I played a few hours of Recore. Probably the first 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours are up on YouTube. They're with commentary. I did play it like at 1 a.m. in the morning, so because I promised Donnie that I was gonna get him like video footage, and I was like, well, I don't want to let Donnie down, so I guess I'm playing Recore tonight. So yeah, I may at times be a little bit sleepy, but I try to be as interactive and as exciting as possible. I was really enjoying the game. It was just really late at night, so that's some context right there.
Naturally. So good to hear from you, buddy, though. So yeah, everybody make sure to check out the website, of course, at playsomevideogames.com. Check out all the reviews and news we have going on. We are working on getting some other titles coming out shortly that we will have up for review for you guys as well. You can email us at podcast@playsomevideogames.com. Follow us on Twitter at PSVG, or you can follow me specifically if you'd like at PSVG Kevin. Like us on Facebook if you haven't already, facebook.com/playsomevideogames. Twitch and YouTube channels are up as well. Links to those are on the website. And as always, please continue to share with your friends. We rely on all of you guys to get the word out. Give us a quick rating on iTunes as well. That helps us get onto the charts and have more people discover our little podcast here. But more importantly, above all the other stuff we just mentioned, everybody, it's time to make America game again. And once you do, boys and girls, you will never stop gaming.
Greatness awaits.
Thank you for listening to Play Some Video Games, the official podcast.